it's time to dish with D. That's me. It's time for Hot Topics for Weight Loss. A little late today. I was going to push it off till tomorrow, but I had some time to kill. I thought, D, go out there and vlog. So here I am. We were chatting in my live, and if you don't know what that is Tea with D, which I have dubbed it the Weight Watchers Support Chat, which happens every night here on my channel, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. All are welcome. Just show up. You'll see it live, and you just come on into the room and have a seat. You're amongst friends there. It's a safe haven. And somebody, was it Carrie that said it? Somebody said, how about the roller coasterness of WW, or just your weight loss journey? And you have the ups, you have the downs, you have which is my favorite thing, is the 5 pounds you stick with. Up 2, down 3, up 4, down 5. Same 5 pounds you deal with. I had that happen for 6 months. 6 months I played with the same 5 pounds. It was frustrating, and I wound up leaving. And I think because when you're in that, you're not really putting weight on, but you're not really taking weight off. So it could be, in a ways it could be a good thing, but in some ways it's a very complacent thing, at least for me. So I left, and that was in October of 2017, and I came back in February of 2018, like 4 months later, up 25 pounds. And I thought I was doing well. I thought, I got this. I don't need to keep going there. I'm playing with the same 5 pounds. I know what I'm doing. I say this a lot of times. This journey is all up in your head. I thought in the beginning it was all... When I finally figured that part out, a lot of things changed for me. I kept thinking it was my tummy. No, it's a mental thing. It really messes with you at times, and it messes with people in a good way, and it messes with people in a really bad way. So I think and I say this to a lot of people, and people are surprised when I say that, I'll say, maybe you shouldn't follow or pay the money if you're not really following the plan or wanting to put the effort out. And basically that's like saying you just go ahead and eat. That's basically is what I'm saying, because you're not really following it the way it's written. So in the sense, you're never going to make good lifestyle changes, because you're just going through the motions instead of really embracing the plan. You could say, well, it's better than gaining like the 25 pounds you did, D. True, but I think eventually it'll creep up and creep up and creep up. And then you'll be paying and you'll be gaining. And then you get through that cycle of you're too scared not to stop. But, sometimes getting away from something, and putting the 25 pounds on was a good lesson for me. I learned from it. I think that was a good thing. I went back with renewedness, and definitely it was a different plan when I went back. When I left, it was Smart Points. When I came back, it was Freestyle. Totally different plan. That's a 180. Compared to going from Freestyle to the My WW, it's a little bit different. I think it's, to me, that was an easier transition than going from Smart Points to Freestyle. And that was when I remember going in there for my first meeting and her telling me all these things were zero, I'm like, say what? Say what? Like, that was like, wow, I used to have to count all that. Now they're all zero. Corn? That was a huge thing. Corn? Zero? Corn? Because, corn, yet we had to count back in Smart Points. And it's funny, because in each transition to a different plan, I always complained. When I went from Points Plus to Smart Points, from Smart Points to Freestyle, and Freestyle to, I would always whine. It's like, I'd like to hear myself talk. But really, when we went to My WW, I just stayed with Freestyle, because that's the plan I was, on. And at that point, that was November. I was only 3 pounds from goal at that point. So I kind of knew I was just going to stick with it and just get those 3 pounds off, and then decide what I wanted to do after. But I'm still on blue, so it works for me. It gives me enough points, enough flexibility, but holds me in a little bit. And like I said, I do love the points, the foods on purple. I just don't like 16 points a day. That's like, I must be starving, because I feel like I'm pretty much starving at 28. Well, actually, I would have 16 plus 5, I'd have 21. Still feel like starving. I'd be like, I like seeing the number 28. I do. It's a mental thing. When you sit there and finally say to yourself, oh my gosh, this whole journey is up here. You know, and it changed for me. That is when it all clicked. And that is why, like, a lot of times I try to fool myself. You see the food I make, my body thinks it's like not on a weight loss journey. It thinks it's porking out. That's what works for me. Might not work for you, but that's what works for me. Thinking that I'm eating scads of fabulously high point food, and it's not. But my mind thinks it is, so again, whatever works. But I really, like, I say this, and I know it sounds horrible to say it out loud, but if you're these, you know, I always say, take some time off. And sometimes putting a few pounds back on reinvigorates your whole system, and it just makes you ready. And maybe you appreciate the plan more when you're away from it, and you realize how crappy you feel again. And so maybe you come back with a better mindset. Like, and I say this a lot too. I think I repeat myself. But there's certain things that are just key, and mindset is huge. It's huge. It really is. You've got to want to do it. And if you don't, it's never going to happen. And I hate to say it that way, but that's the truth. I really, in my mind, never really wanted to get to goal, so I never did. But when I did, good things happen. It's just a hard thing. Like, I feel like sometimes I'm feeling I'm negative, and I don't want to be negative, Nelly, but you've got to want it. You know, it's like eye of the tiger. And when you're in that zone, put your head down and you're tracking your points. You're looking for these low point recipes. You're looking for good whole ingredients. Magic happens, and you know the difference. You do. You know when you're in it. You know when you're going through the motions. You do. And you just know when you're in it, and you know when you don't. Can you stay out of it and hope to get back in? It could happen. I mean, I'm never ever going to say never, but I always feel you need to get away from it for a while, like a few weeks, and just, you know, let it all go away, and then you might have this reinvigoration for it. Or if you're really not truly following, like me, a lot of times, you know when you're not following, but you still expect a loss on the scale. If you follow the plan, the way the plan is written, you will lose. You might not lose in the amounts that we are comfortable. Like, we want to lose, 2 or 3 pounds a week. Let's face it, that's what we want. Realistically, in the beginning, if you have a lot of weight to lose, yeah, you can be pulling those off. But towards the end, you're not gonna. And I know it's hard, because that's our payback. That is our pat on the back for putting up with this plan, as I like to say. But yeah, that is what we look for. And when we don't have it, we get deflated. And it's hard. It's hard. Again, there goes the mindset. We're deflated, so we look negatively. I'm telling you. Weight Watchers should put like a psychologist on their payroll. And we ought to have more psychological. I need therapy. Oh, definitely. Had I had a therapist, I probably would have gotten this way back. Find out why we eat. What are the reasons we eat? There are always a reason. You can sit there and say, well, the food's good. Yeah, that's part of it, but there's always a reason why we eat our feelings. And sometimes until we get to the root of that, I don't know. I just say, you know what? Take a little vacay, clear your mind, see what happens, and sometimes good things happen when that happens. Like when you hit bottom, sometimes that's how it happened to me. I legit hit bottom. Almost 300 pounds. I'm short. Ugh. And I remember sitting there thinking, how did I let myself get this way? And that's, and I had to say that. And yet I was that weight for a while, and I never said that. But one day I just said to myself, how did I get this big? Why did I get this big? And what am I going to do about it? And then I knew I had to take control. And, I had to basically just reformat the way I treat food and the way food treats me, and how I'm eating, and portion control. Yes. Huge. Another thing that's huge. Mindset, portion control. 2 huge factors in my journey. Huge. I mean, I wish I had pictures of my plates before I was on Weight Watchers. I mean, seriously. Huge. I mean, and I would eat till my stomach hurt, because that's what I knew. That's not always what you should do. But, growing up Italian, my parents never said anything. My parents were so positive. Like, they were never negative or anything. Never said you were fat, you need to lose weight, you don't need so much. I mean, so yeah, that's great for my image, but was it good for my health? No. But, again, here we go, back to blaming the parents again. Like, we always have to blame our parents for something. I'm sure I'll get blamed when my kids get older. But I guess, you have to either, like, my famous term is either shit or get off the pot. I mean, either you're in it or you're not. You have to go full in. If you're not going to go full in, you're never going to see the results you want. And that's, it's hard to hear, it's hard to say, but I know from experience that's basically it. And allow yourself experiences. Like, don't sit there and say, I'm not going to have this because I need to lose weight. Well, that's not going to work. Let me tell you that one up front. It's not going to work. You're going to think about it, and you're going to want it even more. And you're going to give it more power than it really deserves. Find a way to fit it in. If you can't have the real thing, try to find a hack that tastes just as good and for way less points. There's a lot of things out there. I mean, you just learn how to adjust, and you don't ever feel denied. That dog goes go over there. So that's my spiel for today. I really want you to embrace the program, and I want you to find your mojo, whatever that may be. And if it takes some time away from your journey, then I think that's it. I sometimes think it's a good thing, because you come back with fresh eyes, a fresh mind, and a fresh invigoration, and that's what you need. You just do. And if I could be of any help, just let me know. I'd be glad to help anybody I can. I'm here. My email's down there. Please reach out if you want to. I'm always here. Give advice. That's what I do. All right, I hope you enjoyed this hot topic today. And if you did, give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't already subscribed, please hit that subscribe button and hit the notification bell. Leave me a comment what you thought of this and where you're at in your journey. I'd like to hear about it. Have a good day. I'll see you. And just so you know, on these, I always try to put a fun recipe in my description box that I find online, kind of like WW does for their weaning topic. I don't know if I ever mentioned that before, but there's a link to, I've done Drizzle Me Skinny, I've done Skinny Taste, I've done Emily Bites. So it's a fun recipe that I find. I'll throw down there just to be fun. So check that recipe out and have a great day, and we will dish another day. I will see you again soon.